Hello and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global TV AM News live in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I'm Uyi Agbamofwegbe. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project (SERAP) has threatened to sue President Bola Tinubu and the Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma over an attack on the national president of the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC), Comrade Joe Ajaero. Ajaero was last week arrested by the police ahead of the statewide protests in Imo State. However, the police denied arresting him, stating that he was merely taken into protective custody to prevent a mob attack. Uzodinma, however, accused the Labour leader of meddling in the political affairs of the state, hence suing the Tinubu administration and Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma over the brutal attack on NLC national president. In the meantime, the organized labor comprising the Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress (TUC) on Tuesday ordered a shutdown of electricity and fuel supplies in Imo State following the brutalization of the national president of the NLC, Joe Ajaero, last week by operatives of the Nigeria Police. The NEC in session ordered the immediate withdrawal of services and shutdown of Imo State beginning midnight today. It says all workers and affiliates are expected to ensure compliance from wherever they are, including all flights into and out of Imo, fuel supplies and electricity being stopped immediately as applicable. It further directs that all public and private sector workers are to immediately down tools indefinitely, according to a communique released at the end of the meeting. The Labour Centres also directed aviation workers to ensure that flights into and outside of the state are suspended. This is according to one of the decisions taken at the extraordinary National Executive Council meeting summoned by the TUC and NUC on Tuesday afternoon. Let's turn to other stories for you. The Senate on Tuesday urged the federal government to work with the United Nations to ensure an immediate ceasefire in the ongoing Israel-Hamas war. The Red Chamber also urged the federal government to press for a two-state solution to end the conflicts in which thousands, including women, children, and aid workers, had been killed. These resolutions of the Senate followed its consideration and adoption of a motion sponsored by Senator Adamu Aliero. Aliero, a senator from Kebbi State, said the casualty figures in the war were horrifying and that if not ended immediately, it may lead to World War III. The leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress has summoned what the unions described as an extraordinary executive council meeting. The national vice president of the TUC, Tommy Etim, made this known in an interview on Tuesday afternoon. He said the aim of the meeting is to review the modalities of the planned strike following the brutalization of the national president of the NLC, Joe Ajaero, review the memorandum of understanding signed between the federal government and the organized labor on October 2nd, 2023, following the removal of the subsidy on premium motor spirits, which the Labour Centres said has caused untold hardship to Nigerians. A two-day training for heads of ministries, departments and agencies, MDAs, has commenced in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. Gathered at the NAF Conference Center, Kado, Abuja, for the event are the Deputy Senate President, Jibrin Barau, Chairman, Senate Committee on Legislative Compliance, Garba Maidoki, Senate Leader Okbayemi Bamidele, and a host of others. The theme of the workshop is the imperative of legislative compliance in deepening democracy and enhancing good governance. Welcoming participants to the event, Senator Maidoki said the 10th National Assembly has resolved not to accept non-compliance to laws and resolutions in the nation's political and governance system. The appeal court sitting in Abuja on Tuesday upheld the judgment of the tribunal which declared Minister of Labour Samuel Lalong winner of the Plateau South senatorial election. The Independent National Election Commission had declared Napoleon Bali of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) winner of the election with 148,844 votes, while Lalong scored 91,674 to become second in the February 25 election. However, Lalong asked the tribunal to nullify Bali's election on the grounds that the PDP did not have a proper party structure and therefore could not file candidates for the elections. The tribunal, in an unanimous judgment read by Justice Muhammad Tukur, said the PDP, having no structure, lacked the right to have taken part in the election. The tribunal held that the votes scored by Bali in the February 25, 2023 general elections were wasted votes. The House of Representatives has scrapped the budgetary allocation of the presidential yachts and moved to student loan, thereby increasing allocation for student loan to 10 billion naira as against 5.5 billion naira. The chairman of the House Appropriations Committee, Abubakar Bichi, made this known while addressing newsmen in Abuja. Sandra Akbar has details.
Chairman of the House Committee on Appropriations says the need to scrap budgetary allocation of the presidential yacht has become necessary following low budgetary allocation for students. The committee also increased budgetary allocation of Ministry of Defense from 476 billion naira to 546 billion naira following security concerns.
As far as we are concerned, we don't have that presidential anymore. We have increased the student loan. If you can recall, student loan was 5 billion naira in the budget, but now we have increased it from 5 to 10 billion so that our students can be able to access that facility in order for them to go to school and to be affordable for them. Office of the National Security, we know how important that office is. Initially, the initial budget was 27 billion, but currently we have increased their budget to 50 billion naira. While the State House, the initial budget was 28, and we still maintain that figure as 28 billion naira as well. Ministry of Agri, we know how important that ministry is, talking about the food security, and of course it's very critical and important to our people across the nation.
Bichi also disclosed that the minimum wage for workers was considered and approved for onward transmission to the executive, while promising proper legislative oversight to ensure 100% implementation. Sandra Akbar reporting for Global TV News.
The House of Representatives Committee on Information Communication Technology, ICT, has promised to introduce a legislation that will drive the country into ICT compliance. Sharon Ajay reports that this is part of the promise made by the Chairman, House Committee on Information Communication Technology, Stanley Olajide, during the inauguration meeting of the committee at the National Assembly Complex in Abuja.
The chairman says his committee, amongst others, will cooperate with the Communication Ministry with the aim of coming out with a comprehensive national policy on ICT, as well as liaise with other House committees to bring them in conformity with global best practices. Also, we will be liaising with other committees to promote and actualize information technology in Nigeria, advising the House on information technology issues requiring legislation and review of existing legislation on information technology to bring them into conformity with international best practices. All matters concerning information technology development and utilization in Nigeria will be our focus. Members of the committee, in their responses, assured of 100% support for the success of the committee, with the agreement that the country is at a critical stage of its development, especially in the area of ICT.
We're at a very critical point in the development of our country, especially with regards to IT. The world has gone far ahead. You hear of seminars on AI happening in the UK, and it's actually taking over our schools today, our children. It's something we must pay attention to as a committee, regulating it. Secondly, the federal government, especially the IT sector, has gone light years ahead of the rest of the executive councils with regards to setting an agenda. The technology hubs, the ICT entrepreneurial schemes. I want to crave the indulgence of the chairman, who is very capable and well able see how we can establish the necessary frameworks to be able to make sure that even with the speed, they're still operating within the frameworks that are set.
Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
Thank you, Sharon. The governor of Plateau State, Caleb Mutfwang, has proposed a budget estimate of 295 billion naira for the 2024 fiscal year. Governor Mutfwang, who presented the proposal to the state lawmakers on Tuesday during their plenary at the House of Assembly complex in Jos. The state capital said the budget, tagged the budget of New Beginning, is made up of 157.5 billion as recurrent expenditure, while 137.8 billion is for the capital expenditure. The governor, who urged the state lawmakers to pass the 2024 budget into law in good time to enable him implement his people-oriented projects, added that he had directed all heads of MDAs to fully cooperate and comply with the House's various dates of budget defense and provide any relevant information that could facilitate the discussion. Let's move up north now. Gombe State Governor Muhammadu Yahya on Tuesday assured 1,487 core members deployed to the state of security, welfare and support to their general well-being. The governor stated this in his address during the swearing-in ceremony of Batch C Stream 1 at the temporary orientation camp in Amada, Ako local government area of the state. Yahya, who was presented by the Commissioner of Youth and Sports Development, Inuwa Ibrahim, said Gombe is peaceful, and as such, the corpers should be rest assured of their security, welfare and general well-being, as it is a priority of the government as indicated in the robust synergy between the states and security agencies. The military and the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, have declared a battle against hoodlums who may be planning to snatch ballot boxes during Saturday's governorship elections in Kogi, Bayelsa and Imo states. The security chiefs threatened to deal with troublemakers, just as the police authorities indicated that they had deployed 67,000 personnel in Kogi and Bayelsa states ahead of the polls. Speaking on the security operations for the election, the General Officer commanding 6th Division, Nigerian Army Land Component Commander Joint Task Force South-South Operation in Delta Safe, Major General Jamal Abdulsalam, warned anyone planning to snatch ballot boxes or cause trouble in the governorship poll to steer clear of the coastal area or face the consequences. Abdulsalam gave the directive while addressing troops and members of other security agencies during exercise Safe Conduct 2023 in Bayelsa State on Monday. This was contained in a statement by the Acting Deputy Director, 6th Division Army Public Relations, Major Jonah Danjuma. You're watching Global TV AM News, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times Channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using at Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When the AM News returns, Naira crashes to 1,030 to the dollar as speculators react. The news continues shortly with details of this and other stories right after this break. Please don't go away. This is Global TV bringing you live broadcast of the AM News from Nigeria's capital, Abuja, with Uyi Agmofwebe. On the foreign scene, Bangladesh has raised the minimum monthly pay for the country's 4 million garment workers by 56% on Tuesday, a decision immediately rejected by unions seeking a near tripling of the figure. The South Asian country's 3,500 garment factories account for around 85% of its $55 billion in annual exports, supplying many of the world's top fashion names. However, conditions are grim for many of the sector's 4 million workers, the vast majority of whom are women whose monthly pay starts at 8,300 taka, just an equivalent of $75. And time to take a look at business. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, says it will continue to collaborate with the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NETI, and all relevant stakeholders in the Reconciliation Committee set up by President Bola Tinubu to investigate, review, and reconcile the financial records on alleged indebtedness to the Federation by both NNPC Limited and the Federation Accounts Allocation Committee, FARC. This is coming on the heels of the calls by a non-governmental organization for a probe of several monies allegedly owed to the Federation by the National Oil Company. Kano State government has allocated more than 40 billion naira for road infrastructure as well as health-related projects within the state. This information was conveyed in a statement signed by Baba Halilu Dantiye, Kano's Commissioner for Information and Strategy, on Tuesday. He said that during its 8th session, the State Executive Council, SEC, approved the release of funds to advance project implementation. Notably, the Council authorized 15.974 billion naira for the State Ministry of Works and Housing to undertake the construction of the Danagodi Interchange Underpass and Flyover, along with 14.455 billion naira for the construction of the Taludu Interchange Flyover. Furthermore, the Commissioner confirmed the allocation of 3.360 billion naira to the Ministry to facilitate an upward revision of rates for the construction of covered sewage conduits and road along the Jakara-Kwarin-Gogal River. Let's talk a bit of sports now. Real Madrid coach Carlo Ancelotti says Jude Bellingham was doubtful for his team's clash with Braga in the Champions League on Wednesday after the midfielder hurt his shoulder at the weekend. Madrid can reach the knockout stages with another victory at the Santiago Bernabeu after 3 straight wins, but maybe without their top scorer, although he did complete part of the team's training session on Tuesday. England international Bellingham, who has scored 13 goals in 14 matches across all competitions, suffered a shoulder problem in the 0-0 La Liga draw with Rayo Vallecano on Sunday, although he played the whole match. Germany goalkeeper Manuel Neuer will not play in the upcoming fixtures against Turkey and Australia, saying on Tuesday the games were too soon as he continues his comeback after injury. The Bayern Munich captain returned from a broken leg after almost a year on the sidelines against Damask and has since played 2 more games for his club. The 2014 World Cup winner revealed he has been in regular contact with Germany coach Julian Nagelsmann and will not be available for selection. And that's it on Global TV AM News. We're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using our Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Uya Bofwebe. Thank you so very much for watching. Have a pleasant day. Global Morning continues shortly.